Hi, we're Voices for Shelter Animals, Craig and
Welcome.
I. We want to address some of the critical issues with the shelter and offer a solution. Disease is out of control. In 2016, according to the Animal Care Center of Sillamore records, 93% of transfers were not healthy. 40% of public adoptables were not healthy. In 2017, these records were not included. In 3 months alone, December 2017 to February 2018, 185 dogs were at risk for CIRDC, 21 dogs were killed. On today's at-risk list, there are 12 cats and dogs. At 3 p.m. today, ACC staff will decide who lives and who dies. At the end of the day, some of these animals can be killed for a simple respiratory disease contracted in the shelter, which is easily treatable with antibiotics and is even stated on the ACC website. Some animals can be killed for simple behavior issues. In our opinion, we do not think the killing of these animals is humane euthanasia. ACC are using behavior assessments as part of the overall evaluation. These assessments were not made to be used for life and death decisions. Sometimes there's a very big gap between what the volunteer videos show, where you see a dog licking their face, eating treats out of their hands, and get great volunteer reports, but the assessment says behavior issue and pigeonholes these animals into getting New Hope only ratings for such things as mouthing on their leash, hard barking, not thriving in the shelter, scratching. If a volunteer disagrees with this assessment and expresses this to the shelter personnel, they are written up and in some cases dismissed. We have seen loving family animals traumatized by one entering the shelter and exhibiting fear-based behavior, resulting in New Hope only status. Once labeled New Hope, this limits the chances for a positive outcome. If a New Hope rescue doesn't pull this animal will be killed. Once the at-risk list is published, 18 hours is not enough time to save these animals. This list is published at 6, is removed the next day at noon. Interested adopters may not be able to fill out applications while at work. After work is too late. With rescue volunteers working full-time, they cannot process apps and do home checks. That is not possible. Some animals have literally been killed in the middle of applications still being processed.
Thank you.
The lack of promotion, especially of at-risk animals, is leading to less animals being saved. ACC is not telling interested potential adopters about the at-risk animals, whether they're visiting the shelter or at off-site adoption events. Animals have been left in cages, suffering for days with such things as pyometra and congestive heart failure. These are extremely painful. This is not humane. We ask the council members that these issues be made a priority. The solution to these issues and others we haven't touched upon is CAPA, the Companion Animal Protection Act. We have spoken to many of you already and are being scheduled with the rest of you. New York City can join the progressive and modern age of no-kill, where no adoptable treatable animal is killed unless irremediably suffering or has dangerous behavior issues. We hope the council makes this reality, where each of you can be the hero for these animals.
Hi, Craig Seeman, Voices for Shelter Animals. What you're hearing today is what we see, the numbers behind the numbers, and the real firsthand experiences that us as activists go through. One of the problems in evaluating these numbers is that the health numbers on animal transfers and the health on the state of the animals when they're adopted, which were in the 2016 numbers, are not in the 2017 numbers. So those have disappeared. In 2016, 37% of the animals killed were treatable. Yes. That's a far cry from no kill, even though they will tout a 93%. It covers up the real and serious issue. Part of the problems are, as you've heard, the at-risk list, 18 hours is not enough. One of the more serious problems is 501c3s that are not part of New Hope cannot pull animals. The numbers for last year and this year, which are reported, is 0. And other public admissions shelters do allow 501c3s to pull. In California, this began with the Hayden Act, passed nearly 20 years ago by the late state senator Thomas Hayden. In New York, there was an attempt at that 8 or 9 years ago with Oreo's law, which failed, but we can do that here in New York City to allow all 501c3s to poll. In this morning's New York Post, you may have seen an article that said, yes, there are roughly 300 New Hope rescues, of which they said about 55 have the capacity to pull, and only 16 were able to be contacted. And the public has the same frustration. If they see an animal that's listed as New Hope only, they have to hunt down a New Hope rescue. And it's difficult to impossible to do that in 18 hours in which a working person comes home from work, eats dinner, has a few hours, goes to sleep, gets up, goes to work. That hold period has to be extended, ideally 48 hours, to give people time, to give other 501c3 time to pull. We can eliminate that 37% with that. In addition, in contacting the rescues, they also need to contact those people who have surrendered animals, because if there is an overcrowding situation, oftentimes those who surrender with the best of intention that their animal will find a home will at least temporarily pull back the animal. Give them that opportunity. When they find the animal they thought was going to get rehomed, it was going to get killed. The solution is the Companion Animal Protection Act. It's been passed in major cities: Austin, Reno, Portland, Oregon, Kansas City, St. Paul, Minnesota, Muncie, Indiana. The state of Delaware passed it. They all move towards no kill. It's not simply about a percentage that you hear, over 90%. It's a set of policies. So we're encouraging the City Council to go beyond the intro to build 5 municipal shelters, but to support the Companion Animal Protection Act to ensure these animals live. Thank you.
Thank you.